Oh, hello. I'm glad you're here tonight. Something special and wonderful happened here. I haven't even had the presence of mind to clean up anything. It was so wonderful. I know I'm just a servant, but I tried to peep in as often as I could. You know, servants need to be ready when called, but I had to see the Master. I heard he was coming, and to this very house where I serve. And he came. I had heard about him, but he was truly more wonderful than anyone has ever told me. The Master came and he reclined right here in this very spot. He had all of his disciples with him. Some of them I heard their names, some I did not. But I heard there was a young man, John, next to him. He called his name several times. And I believe it was Peter, the one I've heard about, who sat on the servant's stool next to John. And there was one other name I heard. It was Judas. He was very different. But the Master came to celebrate the Passover with all these wonderful disciples of his. And they laughed. And they had such fun. But the Master was very intent on showing them his love. Can you imagine the Master showing such love to all of his disciples? The Master took this bread. Now, this is the bread we know as the bread of the Passover. It speaks to us of our exodus from Egypt, freedom. Us Israelites, free men and women. But the Master said, as he tore it, he said, "Take, eat, for this is my body that is broken for you." And then he said, as he took the cup, he said, "This is my blood, which is poured out for you." It ratifies the new covenant. I'd never heard these words before, but they rang so true in me. And then the Master did something I have never seen a master, anybody do, any man do. He came out from his reclining position and he stood up and he walked and he took one of my towels, mine, a servant. He took my towel and he placed it on himself and he said, then he called for water and he took the water and he used a basin that I had left setting in the corner. He took that basin and he poured the water in it. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And he went to each of his disciples And he said, the servant is not greater than the master. And you call me master, and you call me Lord, and I am. So you are not greater than I. Yet I will wash your feet. He first washed the feet of Judas. There was something different. Then he began to wash the others. He came to Peter, who was sitting there in the servant's position, and he said, I'm going to wash your feet. And Peter said, no, you won't, Lord. That is not for you to do. You are my Lord. And Jesus said, he said, if you don't let me do this for you, you have no part with me. If you don't allow me to come into this position, if you don't humble yourself, Peter, that I can wash your feet, then you have no place with me. Well, Peter jumped up and he said, well, Lord, you just wash me all over. And the Lord said, you're clean, Peter. I have only to wash your feet. Then something strange happened. Judas got up and he ran out just like some kind of devil had gotten a hold of him. And Jesus wept. They comforted one another. They embraced one another. And love completely filled the room. And even though I was in another room, looking through the slide of the door, I felt a love and a peace that I have never felt. And the master said, we'll leave now. I just haven't been able to pick up anything because it's just so precious to me. I just want to leave it like it is, and I want to stay here forever. I know I can't. I know I've got to clean it up. But I know that someday I will see Jesus again. I know, and I have taken him as my master. I'm not one of these disciples, but I will follow him because he is my master.